Is the iCarsoft Volume 2 for SAAB VOLVO something for the SAAB new generation 9.3? That is what we're going to find out in today's video, so stick around to find out. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the iCarsoft Volume 2 for SAAB VOLVO and for the SAAB new generation 9.3. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Marcus and the channel's name is SAAB Cars because we always or almost feature SAABs on this channel. And the channel is all about DIYs and adding features, going to SAAB meetings and so on, and keeping your SAAB in really good shape. So if you want to do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you get notifications when I do a new upload. So we're going to take a look at what this instrument can do for us regarding the new generation 9.3. And as you know, the Tech 2 is a really good instrument and it can do everything for this model. You can add and remove modules from the car and you can change settings in different modules, such as the climate control, locking functions and so on. These instruments, however, can't do any adding or removing, or it can't change any settings. However, it can actually read out a lot of fault codes from the different modules, and today we're going to take a look at how many modules this instrument actually can communicate with. So without further ado, let's get to work. And as always, when using instruments in the car like this, make sure you have a battery that is in good condition because we're going to turn on the ignition. So before I connect the instruments, just turn on the ignition. You can also turn off your lights and the radio console. And then we connect the OBD connector to the OBD outlet in the car. So as soon as I insert the cable with the connector in the OBD outlet, it boots up showing the system information, and then you get to the splash screen and the startup screen here with the diagnose, settings and help. And the settings option, you can see more about that in my first video on the old generation 9.5, where I take a look at the instrument more in detail. So today we're going to go into diagnose and we just press OK. And then we pick SAAB. And here we have an option to reset the service interval, the oil lamp reset. We're not going to do that. We're going to dive into the category or the option that is on the top, which says SAAB. And we're going to pick the latest version, 11.37. I actually have two versions on the SD card because I upgraded it a few weeks ago. And we're going to pick diagnostic. And the year model of this Turbo X is of course 2008. And the model is of course the 9.3. And here it says ECM. So we're just going to press OK at this point. And then we can select automatic or manual mode. We're going to do an automatic scan for the different modules in the car. So I just press OK and it starts going through all the different modules, as you can see here on the screen. And this is way faster than the old generation 9.5 because this has a more modern communication interface. As you may know, the Tech 2 has a candy module between the Tech 2 itself and the car due to this interface. And it's going to be finished soon, so let's take a look at the different modules. So it's quite an extensive list. You can see we have very many modules in the car that the instrument could detect. Let's start at the top. Here you have ECM for the engine and TCM transmission, ABS, TCS, ESP, body control module, the driver door modules, the instrument cluster, the rear door modules, the rear electrical center, shift lever module, and the parking assistance module, so you can diagnose your parking assistance sensors. You can diagnose your sunroof module if you have a problem with the sunroof. And of course the tire pressure monitoring system. The electrical center under the hood. And the common module that usually always have an issue on the new generation 9.3. It's the SIM module. So you can diagnose the SIM module and you can look at the parameters, of course. You also have the automatic headlamp leveling, AHL. So let's start off by, why not go into the automatic headlamp leveling module. So in this car I don't have any DTCs. What we can do is actually we can go in and read the data stream. And here you have two options, diagnostic data list 1. It says 1 on both lines, but let's go into the top one. Here we can see the parameters of the height sensor in the front and the rear. So let's take a look at those. We press OK for viewing parameters and then escape. And here you can actually see the value that the height sensor is putting out on the CAN bus, or the interface in the car that this instrument communicates with. So the data is there, so you can actually diagnose that. Let's go back. Let's look in the other list. And we have a different parameters that says stepper motor. Let's take a look at that and see what happens. Here is a value of 0 steps, probably because the lights aren't on, the car isn't actually on, or the engine is not running and only the ignition is on. Let's go back and pick another module. Let's take a look at the rear left door module. And let's read the data stream. Here you can see things like lock motor, the window switch. So if you, or maybe you diagnose a window that won't go up or won't go down, and you can actually connect these instruments, and once you press the button you can actually see the value here. Is the button pressed or not? Very useful. Let's go up in the list. Let's see what we have in body control module. There we have very much information. We have 6 different lists. So let's start with the first one and see what we have there. Light switch position. So many things with regards to the light and the light switch. So let's see if we can actually take a look at the parameters and see what happens when I move the light switch. So now currently it's off, and now we put it in parking, and you can see light switch position 1 is on, and now the headlights are on, so the xenon are on, and you can see it's in position 2 because it says on there. So it's very useful for diagnosing the switches and buttons, that they really work. Let's go back, let's go and pick another list, maybe number 4. Interior light feed, maybe not that interesting. Let's take a look at the last list, number 6. Ambient temperature, let's see if we have a value there. 15 degrees it says inside the car. Yeah. Or maybe that's outside, not really sure, because you have some kind of sensor inside and you have one temperature sensor on the outside. Yeah. Let's pick another one, number 3 in the list. That's the voltage, probably. Here you can diagnose the doors. So if you have any issue with the door not opening or unlocking, you could actually diagnose the switches as well. And list number 5 maybe, coolant level sensor. So the coolant isn't even warm now on the car because it's inside. So let's go back to the main list and see if we have anything interesting in the TCM module. 4 different lists. Gear position switches. The temperature of the automatic transmission fluid. Vehicle speed and so on. And of course the engine itself. So it might be a good idea to have the engine on, probably to get the option to read the parameters. So that was a short introduction for the new generation 9.3 with the iCarsoft Volume 2 instrument. My conclusions with the iCarsoft Volume 2 for the SAAB new generation 9.3 is that it's quite a nice instrument. The form factor is very nice. You all know the Tech 2, it's like a brick, and the case it's in, it's like a suitcase when you go for a 1-week vacation or something. So this is much nicer, although you can't add and remove stuff with this. You can't change any settings in the car. So if that's really important for you, maybe you should get the Tech 2. If it's not that important and you can borrow a Tech 2 when you need to do those kind of things, this is good enough for you because it has this form factor, a very easy to use interface, very simple. It can communicate with many modules in the car, and you can read, you can clear fault codes in these modules. You also saw the data streams that you can actually get from these modules, which can help you a lot when doing a diagnose for a light switch or a door or something. So actually I would recommend this, and if I should put a grade on it for an instrument that can't do add, remove or change settings, maybe a 8 out of 10. It also comes with this great zip case, as you saw in the first video. So easy to use, upgradable software on the web page and so on. Yeah. Don't forget to watch my first episode on the iCarsoft instrument, where I do the unzipping and I test this on the old generation 9.5. And then we have the second episode where I test it on the new generation 9.5 as well. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care and drive safe.